This is Vijayasri, working as an assistant professor in Department of CSIT, MLR Institute of Technology. In today's session, we are going to discuss about functions in C, in that categories of functions. In the earlier session, we have seen what is a function, why we need a function, types of functions. And in today's session, we'll just go with a quick recap about what we have discussed in the earlier session, that is, what is a function? What is a function? A function is a part of a program used to perform specific task and it's executed individually. What are the advantages of the functions? Using the functions, we can implement modular programming. Program becomes more readable and understandable. Implementation becomes easy. We can use the code many times. We can reuse the code many times once the function is created. And we can, using functions, we can divide a larger program into small modules. Why we need a function? Why we need a function? Once the function is created, we can reuse the code how many times? Many times when we need. Types of functions. Types of functions are of two types, system-defined functions and user-defined functions. System-defined functions means the definition of the function is already defined in the libraries. For example, printf and scanf. Printf and scanf are predefined functions which are available in the header file stdio.h. Let us suppose if I want to find a square root of a number or a power function, if I want to use these functions, these are available in the header file math.h. If I want to calculate or if I want to handle some string handling functions like strlen, if I want to find length of a string, or if I want to copy string, then these are the predefined functions which are available in the header file string.h. These are all the predefined functions which are also known as library functions, means the meaning of those functions are already defined in the system. Then user defined functions. User defined functions means user can create their own function, are called user defined functions. How can a user can define his own function? By following these three cases. Those are function declaration, which is also known as a function prototype, function definition and a function call. These are the things which we have discussed in the earlier session. In today's session, we will discuss about categories of functions in C. What are the categories of functions in C? There are four categories. One is function without parameters with return value, function with parameter without return value, function without parameter with return value, function with parameter with return value. These are the four categories of functions. First category is function without parameter without return value. So, how to write a function? How to write a function? Whenever the user creating his own function, he has to write a function declaration, function declaration, function call and function definition. How to declare a function? What is the syntax to declare a function? Syntax for function declaration is return type, function name, parenthesis. Here we will mention the argument list or the parameter list. So, the parameter list is data type, comma, data type, so on. And declaration must be terminated with a semicolon. Where we declare this function? Function declaration. Generally, we will declare this function before main or above the main, so that this become a global declaration. Then function call. Function call will do this inside the main function. Generally, we will call the function inside the main. So, what is the syntax for function call? Function call syntax is function name, then here we'll mention the argument list or list of parameters, parameter list. This is also terminated with a semicolon. We'll call the function inside the main function. So here we have entered the values 2 and 3. These are the inputs given by the user. Using a scanf function, we'll read the inputs which are provided by the user. So 2, 3, s is equal to a plus b, where a value is 2 and b value is 3. So it is 5. Then we have a return s. Because we are writing this program with the return value. Return yes, where it has to return? It has to return to the function call. The value s is returned to the function call. It will return to here. So the value of function call is yes, where s is 5. So this value is stored in the variable result. If we want to print this, then we have to use a printf function. Printf sum is %d. Why I used %d? Because 5 is a integer value. So the format specifier for integer value is %d. %d comma result, because 5 is stored in the variable result. So here I am printing. So this is function without parameter with return value. Then the third category is function with parameter without return value. Means we will pass the parameter list here, but there is no return value. So what is the syntax of function declaration? Function declaration is return type, then function name, then list of parameters. List of parameters, those are data type. Here data type is must, data type, so on, and terminated with a semicolon. So this category is function with parameter without return type, without return value. So let us consider the function name is sum without return value. If the function is not returning anything, that must be specified with void data type. So here the function is not returning anything, without return. Here the function is not returning anything to the function call. So it must be specified with a void sum, but with parameters. So the program is addition of two numbers. To perform addition of two numbers, we need how many inputs? Two inputs. Of which type? Two inputs are of integer type. So here the data type is int. We are providing only two inputs, so int comma int, and ended with a semicolon. Then function call syntax is just a function name, and we'll write here variables. How many variables we are passing? That. Here the function name is sum. How many inputs we are providing? Two inputs. Two inputs only will give the variable name. Then function definition, this is function call. Generally we'll call the function inside the main. Function declaration. Function declaration will be written above the main. Function declaration. Then function definition. Function definition syntax is return type. Function definition syntax is return type. Then function name. Here we'll write the parameters, those are list of arguments, data type, variable name, let us suppose v1, data type, variable 2, data type, let us suppose variable name is var1, data type, variable 2, then what this function has to perform will mention here, then end of the function. So here this is function with parameter without return value. Without return value is specified with void data type, then the function name with parameters. Here to perform addition of two numbers we need two inputs. So those are of data type integer, so int comma int. Here we have a function declaration. So without return value it is void, then sum, here two inputs, so two inputs are of data type int, so int comma int. So we declared the function above the main, always the function declaration is terminated with a semicolon. Then program execution starts from main, so the control goes inside the main. Int a comma b, here I declared two variables of type integer a b, here I provided the values of a b are 2 comma 2, 2 comma 2. Then using a scanf function will read the inputs which are provided by the user. Then sum a comma b, this is the function call. Function call syntax is function name, and if we have any parameters we'll write in the parenthesis, and function call is terminated with a semicolon. So the function name is here sum with parameter. How many parameters we are passing here? Two parameters. Those are of a comma b. In function call will mention the variable name, not the data type. A comma b and ended with a terminated with a semicolon. When we call the function, the control goes to function definition. Control goes to function definition. As function definition and function declaration must be the same, that means the return type, function name, and how many arguments we are passing. Here the return type of the function is void, yes, same. Then the function name is sum. How many arguments we are passing here? Two arguments, but in function definition syntax is data type we have to write down as well as variable name. So here the data type is integer, variable name is x, the data type is int, variable name is y. These are the two arguments which we are passing. So here a value is 2 and b value is 2 because here we provided. Obviously when the control goes to function definition, int x, x is nothing but a and y is nothing but b, then what is the value of x? Where x is a value is 2. Where y is b value is 2. Then in the function definition, here I consider one more variable called s, which is of type int. Then s is equal to x plus y, where x value is 2 plus y value is 2. Then 2 plus 2 it is of 4. Then printf sum of two numbers. Here only I am printing. Why? Because without return value, it should not return anything to the function call. So here I am printing s value is 4, which is of type integer. So the format specifier is %d, then 4. So after printing this 4, the control ends with the execution. So the control goes back to the function where it is called. Then we have a return 0. This is about function with parameter without return value. Then the fourth category is function with parameter with return value. How to write a function? When user creating his own function, it must have three cases. Those are function declaration, function call and function definition. Function declaration generally will write before main, then function call inside the main, then function definition. When we call the function, the control immediately goes to the function definition. It executes that particular task and return back to where it is called. Then function declaration, how to write a function declaration? Function declaration syntax is return type, function name, then data type, comma, data type, so on, and ended with a semicolon. This is function declaration. So, in which category we are writing this? Function with parameter with return value. Then function call syntax is just simply we will mention the function name and list of arguments or parameters. Then function definition. Function definition syntax is return type, function name, data type, variable 1, data type, variable 2, so on. Then we will mention what this function has to perform. So, here we have function with parameters. That means here we are providing the list of arguments and with return value. So, the program is about the addition of two numbers. Means how many inputs we are taking here? Here are taking two inputs. Two inputs are of type integer. So, let us suppose the function name is sum. How many values we are giving? How many inputs we are giving? We are giving two inputs. Two inputs are of data type integer because we are performing addition of two integer values. So, int, comma, int and with return value. If we perform addition on two integers, so the return type is also integer. So, int sum, int comma int, always the declaration must be ended with a semicolon. Then the function call just simply will mention the function name. Here the function name is sum, list of parameters. How many arguments we have here? Two arguments. Two arguments integer type. Let us suppose here will pass only the variable names, not the data type. So, A comma B. Then function definition. Function definition should match with the declaration. Definition and declaration must be the same. Here the return type of the function is int. Then the function name is sum. How many arguments we are passing? Two arguments. Those are of type integer. So, int. Variable name. Let us suppose the variable name is x, comma, two inputs. So, int. The variable name is y. It should not terminated with a semicolon because it is a function definition. So, the control enters into the function definition. So, here we have a declaration. Declaration int is the return type, means the sum is a function name which has to return an integer value to the function call. Then two arguments. To perform addition of two numbers, we need two inputs. So, those are of type integer. So, I told you declaration is done above the main. So, here we have a main. Then function, always the execution starts from main section. So, the control enters into the main. Here we have int a comma b comma result. So, a b are the two values. Two values are 3 and 4, which is provided by the user. User have given input values as 3 comma 5, where 3 is the A value and 5 is the B value. To read those inputs which are provided by the user, we use a function called scanf. Then in the sequence we have, consider one more variable called result. Result is equal to sum of A comma B. Why? Because when the function call happens, the control goes to the function definition with return value. After completing the execution, the control return backs with a value to the function call. So after reading the values, in the sequence we have result is equal to sum A comma B, where this is the function call. Function call syntax is just a function name, and if you have any list of parameters, will pass. Then the function name is sum. Here we have two arguments, those are A comma B. Then immediately the control goes to function definition. So function definition and declaration must match, that is the return type, function name and how many arguments we are passing. Here the return type is int, declaration also it is integer. Then function name is sum, yes, here we are passing two arguments. When we are writing a function definition, data type and variable name is must. So here data type is int, variable name is A. Here A value is 3 and B value is 5, because here A is 3 and B is 5. Then in a function definition, int s, one more variable I consider, because after doing addition, after performing addition of these two numbers, the result must be stored in another variable. For that purpose, here I consider one more variable called s. S is equal to A plus B, where A value is 3 and B value is 5. 3 plus 5 it is 8, then s is equal to 8. So now s is holding the value 8. But here we are writing this in return value. So it has to return. Where it has to return? It has to return to the function where it is called, to the function called. So the value of sum of A comma B is 5. Is yes. So the value of sum of A comma B is s, where s value is 8. That value 8 is stored in the variable result. Then the control goes back to the function where it is called. Then in a sequence we have printf, sum is equal to %d comma result. I want to print the result. Result is of type integer. To print that integer value, we have to use a format specifier %d comma result. Here result is 8. Then return 0, so the control comes out of the main. One more thing here. So in a function call, we are passing the arguments, right? These are actual arguments. Whatever the arguments we are passing in a function call are called the actual arguments, and in a function definition and declaration, are called formal parameters. These are the 4 categories comes under functions. What are those 4 categories? Those 4 categories are function without parameter without return value, function with parameter without return value, function without parameter with return value, function with parameter with return value. User can create his own function based on these 4 categories.